The 2025 Chinese Grand Prix took an unexpected turn, not because of what happened on the track, but because of a controversy that exploded off it. The attention shifted from lap times and strategy to something that is rarely questioned openly. In Formula One, the integrity of the sport's broadcast coverage. At the center of it all is Lewis Hamilton and a radio message that was partially aired by Formula One's commercial broadcaster, Ferrari. What followed was a wave of backlash, confusion, and a serious internal investigation into how team radio is edited and presented during races. This incident has not only affected public opinion about Hamilton's actions during the race, but has also raised significant concerns about how much control F1's media team has over the storylines being shared with millions of fans around the world. During the race in Shanghai, Hamilton was under pressure. Despite having won the sprint race earlier that weekend, the main race proved far more difficult for him. He was struggling with rear-end grip and lacked pace, while his teammate Charles Leclerc was quickly closing the gap behind him, even with damage to his front wing. Ferrari was in a sensitive position, trying to balance team orders while also managing both drivers' expectations. It was during this intense phase of the race that Hamilton came on the radio and told his engineer, Riccardo Adami, that he was considering letting Leclerc pass because he didn't have the performance to hold him off. This message was clear. Hamilton, aware of the bigger picture, was ready to put the team's interests first. But that part of the radio exchange was never aired during the live broadcast. What viewers at home did hear was a different message. It was Hamilton responding to Adami's instructions, seemingly resisting the order by saying, "I'll tell you when we can swap." Without the first message, the one where Hamilton initiated the idea of a swap, this second line painted a completely different picture. Social media platforms exploded. Critics began accusing Hamilton of defying team orders. Pundits questioned whether he was really on board with Ferrari's strategy. The whole narrative shifted based on what was shown, or more importantly, what wasn't. This wasn't just a minor omission. It turned into a full-blown controversy that struck at the heart of Formula One's credibility. Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur was furious. After the race, he openly criticized the decision to leave out the most crucial part of the exchange. He called it a joke and said it was clearly done to create drama. According to Vasseur, the first message, the one where Hamilton suggested the swap, changed everything. Leaving it out wasn't just an oversight. In his eyes, it was a deliberate move by F1 to manipulate the narrative. Formula One quickly found itself in a difficult position. With pressure mounting, an internal investigation was launched to understand how the editing process unfolded. F1 released a statement saying that the omission was not intentional. They claimed that other events unfolding during the race led to the decision not to air Hamilton's full message. But for many, especially within the Ferrari camp, that explanation wasn't enough. What makes this incident even more troubling is that it's not the first time Formula One has been accused of selectively editing team radios. These short audio clips are often used to build tension, highlight conflict, and tell stories that engage viewers. But in a sport as complex as Formula One, where context is everything, even small edits can drastically change how a moment is perceived. In this case, the edit didn't just change the mood of the exchange, it changed the entire meaning. Hamilton wasn't resisting a team order, he was the one who offered to make the swap. The fallout from this incident has been significant. Hamilton, who entered the 2025 season with high hopes after his move to Ferrari, has already faced several challenges. His relationship with Ferrari is still new, and the communication between him and Riccardo Adami hasn't yet reached the level of comfort and trust he once had with Peter Bonington at Mercedes. That bond, built over years of working together, gave Hamilton the confidence to rely fully on his engineer. At Ferrari, that process is still in development. When a new team dynamic is under the microscope, especially in a high-pressure environment, external distractions like this only make things harder. This controversy has also exposed a broader issue in Formula One: the power that the broadcast team holds over public perception. Millions of fans watch each race through the lens provided by the broadcast. When information is selectively shared, it doesn't just shape opinions, It influences careers, reputations, and even team dynamics. What happened in Shanghai is a reminder that the story told on screen is not always the full story. For Ferrari, the timing of this incident couldn't have been worse. The team has already struggled with performance issues, inconsistent results, and now back-to-back disqualifications. Hamilton was disqualified after the main race for excessive floor plank wear, while Leclerc was disqualified due to a separate issue related to the car's weight. The team left China with 0 points and a growing sense of frustration. The team's internal dynamics are still taking shape. Both drivers are adjusting to the SF25, a car that has shown flashes of speed but remains difficult to drive consistently. Hamilton, in particular, has had trouble finding confidence in the car's balance, especially at low-speed corners where rear-end grip becomes critical. During the post-race interviews in Shanghai, Hamilton was visibly frustrated. He explained that the car wasn't turning properly and lacked rear-end stability, which made it hard to find any consistent pace. His exact words, "I didn't have any rear end and then the car wasn't turning at low speeds. Yesterday I didn't have that problem. I was just struggling with pace, so it was like, let me try something." Reveal a driver who is trying everything to adapt, to experiment, and to find a way to help the team move forward. That attitude deserves recognition. Instead, the focus was shifted to a distorted version of a radio message, undermining his efforts. This whole situation also highlights the delicate balance Formula One must strike between being a sport and being entertainment. The sport's popularity has soared in recent years, thanks in part to the way races are packaged and delivered to audiences. Drama sells, conflict draws in viewers. But when entertainment value starts to interfere with fair representation, the consequences are serious. Fred Vasseur understands this. His response wasn't just about defending Hamilton, it was about defending Ferrari's integrity. When asked about the incident, he didn't hold back. He stated clearly that the broadcast made a choice to only show part of the exchange to stir controversy. For him, it wasn't a technical glitch or a scheduling issue, it was an editorial decision, and one that had a real impact on the team and the driver. It's important to also look at how this has affected Hamilton personally. Since joining Ferrari, he's been under constant scrutiny. Every move, every comment, and now even every radio message is analyzed in detail. This isn't new for Hamilton. He's always been a high-profile figure in Formula One, but being in a new team brings added pressure. The trust he needs to build with his engineers, strategists, and mechanics takes time. Incidents like this don't help. They create confusion, sow doubt, and distract from the real work being done behind the scenes. The fact that Hamilton has not directly addressed the editing controversy also speaks volumes. It's possible that he's choosing to focus on the racing to avoid getting pulled into off-track drama. But his body language after the race was telling. He looked disappointed and tired, not just from the race but from everything surrounding it. A driver who should be celebrated for showing team spirit was instead questioned and criticized. That kind of narrative distortion can have lasting effects. The investigation into how the broadcast team handled this radio exchange is still ongoing. Formula One has said it will review its processes and ensure that future broadcasts provide a more complete picture. Whether or not meaningful changes come from this remains to be seen, but for now the incident has sparked an important conversation about transparency in the sport. Formula One is built on data. Every lap, every corner, every tire change is measured, recorded, and analyzed. Accuracy is everything. So when the broadcast, the main source of information for fans, starts leaving out crucial context, it undermines the very foundation of the sport. It turns what should be an objective reflection of events into a subjective, edited story. Hamilton, for his part, will need to keep pushing forward. His journey with Ferrari is still in its early stages. There are bound to be setbacks, but how he and the team respond to moments like this will define the season. It's not just about speed anymore, it's about trust, communication, and resilience. Hamilton's willingness to let Leclerc through showed that he's thinking about the team's success, not just his own. That's the kind of leadership Ferrari needs right now. This incident also shows how vulnerable drivers and teams can be to the narratives shaped around them. A single line taken out of